1,800 MDAs. 1,800 MDAs, and we intend to expand more in the next coming projects. Our target is to connect all of Uganda's key MDA centers. The total MDAs that we are looking at is 20,000 MDAs. It's a very big target, but with the current deployment, current technology, we believe we'll be able to achieve this in the next 10 years. Our aim as NITA is to enhance, is to transform the lives of the citizens through digital solutions, to enhance the socio-economic development of Uganda, and to cut down the cost of doing business in Uganda, improve the cost of the efficiency of the economy in Uganda, and transparency, reduce on wastage expenditure, allow MDAs, government entities, to account effectively, efficiently for the services that they offer to the citizens, bring the citizens or bring the services closer to the citizens of Uganda, and also cut down or stop corruption. With digital solutions, we know that we will be able to track all activities that the government of Uganda does. All the economic and citizen-facing activities are logged digitally, securely, and we'll also be able to account to the citizen. If a service is being provided to a citizen, we will be able to account and provide that visibility to the citizen that this is a service that the MDAs are providing to you. So that is our aim as NITA. Our objective is to improve on the efficiency of doing business in Uganda, improve on the security of doing business, improve on the accountability, standardize the services in Uganda, the IT services. The regulatory environment is one of the areas that we are focusing in improving on these IT standards. We have a unit within NITA, the IT certification unit. This unit is mandated to ensure that all government procurements, IT services, all government procurements for IT services meet the best industry standards. It also ensures that the service providers have been well vetted, have been fully and completely vetted according to the required standards of government, and also we benchmark with the international standards to ensure that our local IT service industry can compete favorably with the international market. The objective of NITA is to ensure that all of government service delivery points are connected. Interoperability is one of our focus area in NITA. Interoperability is a form of connecting a service to the citizens seamlessly. You don't have to know what is in the background. You just need to receive the service as a citizen. And also the MDAs should not struggle in delivering this service to the citizens. It should be easy to connect, it should be seamless, it should be cost effective. The value for money should also be well accounted for within the services that we provide. Initially, before NITA was formed, we know that the environment or the IT environment in government was so disconnected. Every MDA was running its own IT system. There were so many duplicate systems within the government bodies. Every MDA had its own structure of deploying and developing its service, and they were not communicating. So you would have one MDA running a web service, which probably would be beneficial for the next MDA. I'll give an example. If you are going to get your ID, or you're going to register for your ID, there are some requirements that you provide to the ID authority. But also if you want to get your driving permit, you also need to provide the same requirements. So you find those MDAs developing a system that's going to capture this information, and the second MDA is also developing the similar system, or even a more complex system that hinders a citizen in acquiring services from them. So we reviewed all of government's services in an effort to rationalize and standardize their systems. With the IT certification unit, we ensure that those government MDAs are following specific and the best available standards on the market. With the e-government department, we come in and advise and promote the best standards that they should be using. If we are going to procure one solution from, let's say, from an authority, from a firm that provides the same solution to another firm, we don't need to duplicate that procurement. We will advise you to use the solution from the second firm, which government of Uganda has already paid for. We also encourage infrastructure sharing. When we are deploying this fiber optic cable, we know that we're not the only ones in Uganda that deploy fiber. So we advise and promote infrastructure sharing, service sharing, and we ask the other service providers or infrastructure developers to come and share our infrastructure as NITA. We also request, in case we are going to approach an MDA, we request that instead of us laying a duplicate infrastructure or duplicate, in this case, fiber cable, why don't we use that same fiber cable that has been paid for by the government of Uganda? So that is one of our mandate as NITA, to promote and advise government on how the rollout of services should be in order to save costs and improve on efficiency of doing business in Uganda. NITA has had some good achievements over the years. We started with phase 1 of the NBI, then we moved to phase 2. Now we are at phase 5, or we intend to proceed to phase 5 of the NBI. And from phase 1 to phase 4, we rolled out close to about 3,500 kilometers of fiber. Then we also rolled out the last mile connectivity. The last mile connectivity was rolled out last year, which extended the NBI to now the current state of 4,000 kilometers. We started with 27 MDAs in phase 1. At phase 4, we were at about 600 MDAs. Last mile has doubled that number and even surpassed it. So we intend to complete last mile this year with close to 1,800 MDAs onto the national backbone. The second achievement was the deployment of the e-government services. E-government services supports or encourages the deployment of local content, development, and rollout of local e-government content in terms of applications. These are the software components. So we encourage the development of software applications that replace the manual processes within government. Like I had explained, previously government was analog. You have a service that is being provided to a citizen in a very rudimentary way, very slow and very manual way, and it was very paper-based. There was a lot of wastage of resources in terms of paper, in terms of additional resources, and also it was slow. You can't have a manual process compete with an automated process. We also used to see that during that time of the analog processing model, there was a lot of corruption. There were a lot of middlemen within the process. When you got to receive services from an MDA, you meet 5 or 10 other people who are asking for some kickbacks for you to get that service. With the e-government services, you are interacting with only one person who is going to activate that service for you. In the background, it's a system. There's no way that you can compromise the system. And in any way, there are logs, there are audit trails, there's a lot of security and accountability embedded within these e-government services. And this was achieved by the development of the government's e-government framework. Within those services, we have been able to support other government agencies and ministries. In the Ministry of Agriculture, we developed the e-voucher system. This system has been beneficial to the farmers in providing the required funding for their products. It is an online real-time system that the farmers register onto, and they're able to receive government subsidies to enable them grow their crops. It is very well adapted. At the moment, about 400,000 farmers have benefited from the system. Another system is the e-visa under the Immigration or the Ministry of Immigration. It enabled citizens and non-citizens to acquire Ugandan visas on the spot. It also cut down the cost of processing the visa, and also we saw a 40% increase in the revenue collection at the e-visa counters. We also have, we have supported the Ministry of Finance in the rollout of the EGP. This is the electronic government process. This is the electronic government procurement system that is managed by the PPDA unit in the Ministry of Finance. It's an end-to-end procurement solution from the point of collecting specifications, bids, contracting, and signing of the contract. We have a current pilot phase with the EGP with 20 MDS. It has been very successful. It is very transparent. All procurement of government services are available for the public to view. And also it cuts down the need to be at a specific location to enable procurement. Right now in the COVID era, we cannot tolerate crowds. We have to be smart in the way that we work. So this EGP system enables the government MDS to proceed with government businesses, government procurement, wherever they are. It was one of our best deployed e-government solution. It is 100% developed by the government of Uganda. It was developed by Ugandans, and the soft code is owned by Ugandans. The only thing that was not Ugandan made, or that did not go by the Bubu concept, was the hardware. In case we had the available machinery, we could have even developed the servers locally, but that was the only thing that's not locally developed. We also have the unified messaging and collaboration system, and this is very beneficial for communicating within government in a standard way. We see most of the communication or the emails that are being sent by government officials are sent by international mail serving companies or mail hosting services. That is a very big risk. We should not encourage, or we should not be seen as communicating government business on non-government infrastructure. The UMCS is a government, it is a fully fledged collaboration and messaging solution. It has email function, it has a chat function for the video conferencing. It also has a document management function where if you need to share any information with another government official securely, it's available and it will be able to do that. It is a very good solution in terms of ensuring security and communication of government business. We should not be putting our government information on servers that are not, or that the location where the hosted is unknown. We host the UMCF server locally at the National Data Center. It has scalability and security features embedded. Even if someone tries to hack it, we have a full disaster recovery solution for it, and it also enables, or it puts that barrier of security for government or government information. So it provides the security measures that are required for government, or that are required for government communication. Another achievement is the development of the National Computer Response Emergency Team, the National SAT. As we roll out infrastructure and develop services, we have to be mindful of the risk of us going online. There are so many people waiting to intercept this communication. There are so many people who have very bad intentions or very bad motivations or ideas on what government does. We have to be very mindful on the technology that we roll out. So at NITA, we are in the final stages of launching the National SAT. This is a cybersecurity command and control center. We monitor all of threats, international threats, local threats, and we also give advisories. We give warnings and educate or spread awareness on how best the government officials should use these services. We are currently running a campaign, a cyber campaign or cybersecurity awareness campaign in partnership with the Ministry of ICT and other government government stakeholders in the cybersecurity field. With cybersecurity, we were able to develop cyber laws. In 2018, Uganda was ranked #1 in Africa in cyber readiness. This is because we had the right environment, right regulatory and policy environment through the development of the cyber laws. This is the Computer Misuse Act, the E-Transactional Act, the E-Signature Act, and of recent, 2019, the Data Protection and Privacy Act. We have fully constituted the Data Protection and Privacy Office under NITA Uganda. This gives confidence to the international market to come and do business in Uganda in an electronic form. BPOs, these are the business processing outsourcing contractors or partners from our international partners, have been always asking NITA or the government of Uganda, how secure are we if we're to come and do business in Uganda? What regulatory environment is in place to guarantee the security of our business in Uganda? With the constitution of the BPO office, with constitution of the Data Protection and Privacy Office, we are now secure. We have the guarantee of securing the data for our BPO partners. So this has boosted the interest in coming to do business in Uganda. And with that, we have gotten bids or requests for expression of interest in developing the BPO industry in Uganda. At Entebbe, we are looking at developing a BPO center, and also in Namamve and Jinja and other districts. We have got a couple of interests that we intend to act on. The challenges that NITA has faced over the years. Our biggest challenge is budget cuts. As the authority in charge of promoting, supporting, advising government in IT or ICT, it has been a very big challenge to get the required funding for us to do our mandate. And this goes to all the IT sector. We're the least funded sector within government, and we have always been facing budget cuts at the time that all our services are the most required services. We are also faced with a big mindset or adoption of the services because of the mindset of electronic services. Deploying a digital service in an analog environment is very challenging. The biggest challenge that we have faced is capacity, or the skill gap that is within the sector. We have experienced environments where the data administrator is not that well qualified. The system administrator probably does not have qualifications in ICT. Even if we roll out this infrastructure, these services, you, the end user, has to be skilled in order for you to well appreciate the service. So those are the challenges that we're facing, but we are handling them together with the Ministry of ICT and other stakeholders like UICT and UCC. The way forward is now to integrate all these services that we have developed for government into one portal. That's the UG Hub. The UG Hub will connect and disseminate information across government. This will cut down the cost of other government MDAs in developing a solution. We are also going to be launching soon the digital authentication and e-signature solution. We are at the stage of getting approval from Cabinet and Parliament in the next phase of the NBI. The next phase is under a project called GovNet, or Government Network Project. This phase has two components. There's a phase 5 of the NBI and UDAP, or Uganda Digital Acceleration Project. Lastly, we are developing IT parks in Uganda. His Excellency the President provided us land at Entebbe. We are happy to note that we are in discussion with a potential investor for the park. This will be a global innovation center. There will be a cybersecurity center. There will be a data center. There are so many innovations and development that we're going to put in this park at Entebbe. I would like to thank the development partners, the World Bank, the Republic of China government for supporting us in the rollout and development of our technology in Uganda, the Ministry of ICT, the other ministries, the stakeholders, the other sector players, UCC and UICT. UBC is also one of our stakeholders here in the IT sector. We are connecting the UBC stations all over the country. This will improve on the digital solutions or digital signal that will be received at UBC. We also like to thank His Excellency for supporting the IT sector. This is one of the key points within the NRM manifesto. It has also been identified under national, the NDP 3, under the digital transformation plan. With that, I would like to thank UBC one more time for allowing us to express our, or to clearly elaborate on what the work of NITA is, what it entails, and also to thank the viewers for supporting us in our work. For God and my country, thank you.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Central Points when you deposit, send and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.
A very good evening to you. My name is Sophia Matovu. Thank you for tuning in to UBC TV. Now, there is a great concern about the current situation and the needs of about 1.4 million people living with HIV. Needs related to information, access to uninterrupted HIV services, including antiretroviral treatment, medical care, and other services. Here with me in studio is Dr. Stephen Watiti, who is the chairperson of National Forum for People Living with HIV/AIDS. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Sophie, and glad to be here.
Okay.
Good evening, all viewers and listeners.
Okay. Now, Dr. Watiti would like to start with the umbrella organization under which you're the chair. That is National Forum for People Living with HIV Networks, Uganda, and abbreviated as NAFOFANO. What is it about and when was it founded?
Well, NAFOFANO, the National Forum of People Living with the HIV Networks in Uganda, shortened as NAFOFANO, was founded in 2003 by people living with HIV. And so, because they saw there was a need for advocacy, an advocacy voice. In our movement, we say nothing should be done for us without us. So we are grateful for what is being done for us, but we'd like to be involved. So we formed this network. It is in almost all districts of Uganda, over 135 districts. Never mind, some networks are not so strong, but they are there. We also have networks of, for example, women living with HIV, teachers living with HIV, journalists living with HIV. I have one of the prominent journalists, my brother Elvis Basude, who is leading that one. And so for me, I'm the chairman, not the person who does the day-to-day work, but sort of the governance arm of this, this organization. And in our constitution, the chairman must be a person living openly with HIV. So you guessed it right, I'm a person living with HIV. And I've lived with HIV for over 35 years.
Wow.
I've been on ARVs, ARV, which you have been just mentioned, for now over 20 years, because I started in 1999. And I'm here aging never gracefully with HIV, for which I thank God for.
Okay. Now, under the different organizations under the network, I would say, how are you managing? How do you, amidst this period of time where it has been a very challenging time during the lockdowns or during the period of COVID-19, I would say amidst COVID-19, how have you been able to network and to still keep support for each other? Because I guess the networks are spread all over the country.
We are spread and we're all over the country. One of the biggest challenges we knew we were going to face with the lockdown was the access to treatment. We must be on medicine every day. Not that we are sick, as you can see, I'm not sick, but I swallow medicine every day, one tablet. Some people take one or two. But all people living with HIV must be on this. So what was the problem was, how are they going to get? Because now I'm here, maybe I get my medicine from Mbale, where I'm born, or I'm in Mbale, but I get my medicine from Kampala, and then the lockdown, I can't go. The first thing is we have network chairmen and coordinators in every district. We have their phone contacts. We tell them to use word of mouth, use telephone, tell people living with HIV that you must continue swallowing your medicine. Never mind, you cannot go to, for example, may I get mine on Entebbe Road, a place called Mildmay. But even if you don't go there, you can go to, my village has a health center nearby. It's called Busano Health Center for 3, I think. and they have ARVs. So I can go there and they should give me. Normally they would say, no, you are not a patient. But during this emergency period, the Ministry of Health, God bless them, they passed circular that people living with HIV, if they go to any ART centers, and there are over 1,800 all over the country, they can be served. The challenge, of course, some people don't know what medicine they're on. ARVs, yes, but we're on different regimens if we want. And some of them are not so knowledgeable. If you ask them which one, they will say yellow one or white one. We encourage them to carry the bottle, which has the names, or the ART card. Some don't have any of those. So we use now our network. Say if you call the district focal person, or call your let me call it home ART center, and they